Hello and welcome to Women in Business. I'm Fanny Foxon. Today I'm chatting to Yael Giffen, newly appointed Executive Director of Sotheby's Realty South Africa. Let's go meet her. The Sotheby's story began in 1744 as an auction house for many of the world's most valuable and prestigious possessions. The Sotheby's International Realty Organization began in 1976, serving clients wanting a complete package of estate disposition services. Husband and wife Lou and Sandy Giffen started Lou Giffen Estates in 1982 in Johannesburg. The business progressed fast and they became affiliated with Sotheby's International Realty in 2003. Three generations of devoted Giffens have made the company the success it is today. Yael Giffen, Lou and Sandy Giffen's daughter, has just been announced as Executive Director for the group. You've just been appointed Executive Director of Sotheby's International. Take us through your roles and responsibilities.
Well, Fanny, I'm heading up all the public relations for the group, as well as all the marketing communications for the group. So I make sure that our marketing footprint is in alignment with our global Sotheby's International Realty.
How exactly do you ensure that you're in alignment with the global Sotheby's International?
Well, I actually just came back from the Sotheby's International Realty Conference, which was in San Diego. It was the most amazing experience, actually. And by attending conferences like that, also webinars, web seminars, and they send us emails and let us know exactly what strategies they're doing for the year, monthly strategies, and we get to see what they're doing in terms of marketing savvy, and I make sure that we're doing exactly what they're doing and that our brand is in alignment with the global brand.
Yeah. Is it very difficult to go to a conference of that nature and ensure that you translate what has been done there and bring it to a South African context or an African context?
Not at all, because funnily enough, internationally we're on a par. In fact, when I was there, I was actually proud to see how well our brand is doing. In terms of marketing, we had to display all our marketing materials together with our international delegates, and the international delegates were actually picking up our marketing materials more so than the other international delegates. So in terms of translating that information along, it's not that hard at all, and on a marketing standpoint we're doing very well.
Take us through why you think you're the best person for this job, for being the Executive Director of Sotheby's International.
Well, I have a global marketing experience, seeing as though I've lived and worked overseas and in both the marketing and advertising industries. And in terms of real estate, I've been brought up on a real estate diet, working and living with my mother and father, and since my late grandmother was Aida, so since I was a little young tot, real estate has been in my blood. Yeah. So being and growing into the executive director role was a very easy process for me.
Yeah. Did you always want to be part of the family business?
Not at all, actually. I tried my hardest to fight it. That's why I landed up going overseas, spreading my wings, trying many different disciplines. And my father was always trying to lure me in, and then I realized, he's created this amazing empire. It would be silly to not want to be part of it, part of this legacy, just like the Sotheby's brand with all this great heritage. My father and mother created this great heritage in the Lou Giffen Sotheby's International Realty brand. And when I came back from overseas, I realized the time now is right. I've always loved real estate. I've been interested in real estate. And it was time. It was time for the baby bird to come into the nest. So, yes.
How exactly did you know that it was time?
Well, my experience and my skills were at the point where I realized I could add to the family business. Yeah. I realized I was at the point where I could make an impact and bring a fresh, new approach, an innovative approach to the family business. And I realized that I wanted to add to the family business.
Yeah. It's always important that you feel like you can add value more than just come into a business. Yeah.
Exactly.
What is the property market like in South Africa at the moment?
The property market right now is actually quite good. despite what a lot of real estate agencies are saying. For us, it's actually been, 2009 has been a good year. We're up on volumes. We're up 46% on volumes.
How did that happen exactly?
Well, the recession actually was worse the year before. 2009 for us was good. Our turnover increased by 42%. You know, we're very lucky because we're in a niche market. We're in a luxury brand market. So Sotheby's International Realty wasn't hit because there'll always be a luxury market. You know, just like Cartier, the brand. There'll always be people buying Cartier watches or Rolex watches. So that's how it happened for us.
Yeah. Did you implement a different strategy during the recession?
Not really. We, you know, in terms of cutting lean and
cost cuttings,
cost cuttings, you know, we did, I guess, what other real estate agencies would do, but because we're in that niche category, our average sales price is 2.4 million. So when it comes to that, the luxury market isn't as badly affected as the other markets.
So you sailed right through that.
We did. Last year was a good year for us. You know, the first 2 quarters were a bit slippery, but by the end, by September, we really started hitting up there, and we recovered. And we had 2 great sales at the end of last year. We had a 50 million and in Bryanston and a 35 million in Sandhurst, which did help us through.
So the first 2 quarters, I'm sure investors were just watching and waiting to see what's happening globally before they moved in.
Right. I mean, from a global perspective, you know, buyers, it seemed a little bit more risky. You know, the market, in terms of the market, it affected more the distressed sales and repossessions, and the houses that were on sale were the people that were affected by the recession. Obviously the National Credit Act had a big part to play in it because buyers were restricted, and banks were also having a big effect on buyers because they weren't giving them the availability to have loans as readily as possible. Obviously, if banks ease up a little bit, that's going to help us. But towards the end of the year, you know, things did swing up a bit and the market has bounced back. And I think this year is going to be a very good year. You know, for us, last year landed up being a good year, not as dreary as we thought it would be.
Okay, let's talk about the World Cup. And many investors are expected to come in. People are looking for property. How exactly are you hoping to gauge from the World Cup?
You know, in terms of our marketing strategy, we've tried to have some nice visibility with a lot of the hotels that are hosting the soccer players, airport advertising, basically gain nice visibility with the right crowd and with the luxurious end of the crowd. I think that there will be some nice sales from the World Cup. I wouldn't put all, you know, our eggs in one basket. I think the World Cup will be great for South Africa as a whole.
Well, property market is rather competitive. How exactly do you handle your competition?
We strive on being the best with regards to marketing and advertising. I think that's really key. So my dad and I are strong brand custodians, especially of the Sotheby's International Realty brand. So we like to be visible wherever we can. Also, in terms of our service, delivering us the best service that we can deliver, and the property consultants, the best training. My mother is a guru, Sandy, when it comes to training. She keeps our agents motivated, inspired with the Learning Institute and the best training techniques. So when you've got the best branding, the best service, and the best property consultants, you basically slay your competition.
How important is it to have a good brand in South Africa?
It's key. It's the #1 importance. You know, when we shifted to the Sotheby's International Realty brand, it was the best achievement we could achieve, because in the eyes of the public, your branding is the most important thing that you can do. Sotheby's International Realty is seen as a prime real estate brand, as a luxurious real estate brand. In fact, now we did a brand tracking study recently in 2009, and when you mention the name Sotheby's, people don't think of the auction house anymore. Their first thing they say is, oh, it's the real estate brand. And that to us is the biggest achievement.
Is it easy to develop a brand in South Africa? Does that come over time, or is it something you buy a brand?
I think you have to develop it over time. You have to nurture it.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like a little garden almost. You always have to nurture the garden. You have to make sure it's watered, it's fed, bit of sunlight. It's constant love, and that's what we put in our brand every single day. We make sure every little bit is cared for. Otherwise, you know, especially because we have the master franchise for the whole country.
Right.
You know, I was at the Sotheby's convention. We have a very different scenario. You know, in Sotheby's International Realty, there are 500 offices around the world in 39 countries. And our scenario is different because we are the master franchisor for South Africa. In the US, for example, they'll have a Sotheby's International Realty in Boston, in New York, in Atlanta, and we have the whole of South Africa. So we have about 50, 60 offices in South Africa. So we have to make sure that the Cape Town office, the East London office, the PE office, the office in Potchefstroom is doing just as well as each other, and the branding remains consistent and to the standard of the global Sotheby's International Realty. So it's a big job.
Well, after the break, I'll continue chatting to Yael Geffen.